Battlefield 1's Turning Tides DLC, at least in terms of its new weapon offerings, doesn't really follow the rules. We got some weapons in classes that kind of break the mold, so to speak, and none more so than the two new weapons in the Assault class. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about the M1917 Trench Carbine. Because of all the weapons added in this DLC, I think this one stands out the most, and we'll be answering the question, is it good or is it hot trash? Before I go on, however, I need to say that this video today is sponsored by Discord. Discord is a voice over IP service that allows gamers to hook up with their friends and use voice chats when playing games together. I've set up my own server, that's linked on the screen now, and you can go and click the link in the description if you'd like to join it, but you can also make your own servers as well. The best part about all of it is it's absolutely free and you're never going to have to pay anything to set it up or use your own server or join another one if you want to. I've met a lot more of you guys since I set up my own server, and it's been great to talk to you about the games that we play, different gaming news, and do some question and answer sessions on there as well. It's like an extension of the community we've got here on this YouTube channel. So if you want to join my server, as I've said, there's a link down in the description that you can go and click, and from there you can create your own server as well for you and your friends to use during your gaming sessions. But now let's get back to the Trench Carbine. In essence, this is a C96 pistol that's been adapted with a faster rate of fire, an extended magazine has been added on there, and a stock has been adapted to it to turn it from a sidearm into a fully functioning primary weapon. You might have expected something like this to appear in the pilot or the tanker class, and to be honest, I did as well when I first saw the weapon list for the Turning Tides DLC. But DICE chose to add it to the Assault class, and I think that's a decision that's actually paid off for any player who unlocks this and starts to use it, because I was having some really great games with this thing last night. Let's start off with some stats for the weapon, and maybe that will help me explain why I think this weapon is so good. A big thanks to Simthic.com here, because all of these stats have already been extracted from the Turning Tides code. That really didn't take them very long. I'll link their website down below in the description. The weapon is semi-automatic, with a rate of fire of 360 rounds a minute. That gives it plenty of damage potential. You really can tap that fire button quite quickly. Really, as fast as you can tap it is as fast as it's going to fire. The max damage sits at 28 out to 18 meters or so, and then it drops off to 15 damage at roughly 40 meters, making it a 4-shot kill in close quarters with shots to the body. If you throw a headshot in there, you can bring that down to just 3 bullets. That's quite some power. At the moment, DICE has not chosen to update Battlefield 1 with that weapon balance patch that is currently live in the CTE. This means all SMGs are still firing a max damage of 23. This pistol conversion does more damage per shot than a fully automatic weapon in the same class, and I assume that's a balancing factor. Those automatic weapons have higher rates of fire than this Trench Carbine, meaning they can get their lower damage rounds out towards the target faster. It makes the Trench Carbine a compelling choice, however, for those close quarter maps. I think it fits perfectly into the new Achi Barbar map. You can use all of the cover there, all the walls and all the bushes, to hide from enemies, pop round the corner, 4 shots into their back, and that person is dead on the ground. Alongside those admittedly quite favourable damage stats there, this new assault weapon can complete its short reload in just 2.1 seconds, which is rather snappy. A full reload will take over a second longer than that, 3.5 seconds overall to be exact, but with 41 rounds in a magazine, firing semi-auto, you should be able to find time in between gunfights to switch out those magazines whilst there's still a bullet in the chamber, and then you will activate that shorter reload. Those 41 bullets do come in handy as well. The necessity to reload constantly is somewhat removed with the Trench Carbine, although I can't stop myself from reloading constantly all the time. It's just a really bad habit that I've got myself into, but if you're somebody who can manage that and stop themselves from reloading the moment they've killed someone, you will benefit from using the Trench Carbine. There are lots of other assault weapons that you can pick from, and I think the Trench Carbine has a big advantage here over those weapons. For example, the Automatico, that thing runs out of bullets in a magazine very, very quickly, before you realise you're now hated by the person that you just killed. And the MP18, for example, that will struggle to bring down more than 2 players per magazine, really. The Trench Carbine offers almost a DMR style of play, but it limits you to close or maybe mid-range overall, rather than long range that the medic rifles can offer. The Carbine also has some tight hipfire spread, meaning if you get panicked in close quarters or if an enemy rushes you, as long as you keep those crosshairs on target, you are likely to hit the target, because the crosshairs are smaller than the person inside about 5 or 10 meters. The reason they're likely so tight is because this is essentially a pistol with an added stock to help control the weapon more effectively, as you can fire it quite a bit faster. This is a unique weapon in the assault class, and I think that's why I've taken to it so much. Now, since this weapon was announced for the Turning Tides DLC, there are a few people who are complaining that this weapon doesn't really fit into the assault class, and it doesn't really fit into the World War I scene. So I've done a little bit of historical research here, just to try and find out what this weapon was really like around the First World War, and I'm happy to say that I found some good evidence that this was developed during the First World War. It just wasn't all that common, which is what I think most people might be thinking of when they say it didn't appear in the First World War. The Trench Carbine, as the name might suggest, it was created to be used in the trenches on the Western Front by German soldiers, instead of using their long rifles like the standard issue Gewehr 98. In the trenches, long rifles could be quite cumbersome. They're rather long and the trenches were rather small, and they were rather susceptible to dirt damage as well and jamming because of the conditions. Smaller and more compact weapons were already being tested in the middle years of World War I, and the factory that produced the M1917 Trench Carbine, they submitted that weapon for testing with the German Commission. Now, the weapon didn't 100% meet the requirements that the Commission had asked for, but it said that the Commission did actually quite like the weapon. The main sticking point was that the weapon was semi-automatic and not fully automatic. And ultimately the design was rejected, with further reasons being that the weapon was expensive to produce, and producing it on a large scale could impede the production of other weapons coming from the same factory, mainly the Gewehr 98. Only a few examples of the weapon ever existed, and any that did after the war was ended were supposed to be destroyed for being in violation of the Treaty of Versailles. But a small number of them still exist to this day, and this one here in this picture is actually in an auction house and is available for you to buy if you've got an extremely huge amount of money, so I wouldn't recommend that you do that. Now, unlocking this weapon in Battlefield 1 is not overly difficult. There is only one variant of it as well. You need to net 15 kills with sidearms and perform 5 multi-kills. You'll probably find this is one of the first weapons you unlock, simply because the requirements are quite passive. You can do them without really focusing on them. It's not like you need to highlight it and say, I must get those 5 multi-kills, or I must get 15 kills with sidearms in this round, because you'll probably do it over a few rounds anyway. So to answer the question, and if you hadn't noticed by the tone of this entire commentary, I think the M1917 Trench Carbine is really, really good. I'd recommend this weapon highly, and if you haven't unlocked it yet, can't understand how with those unlock requirements, but if you haven't unlocked it, you should go and do that straight away. It's because it offers a brand new experience to the assault class. It's a proper departure from the fully automatic SMGs, and you can change your playstyle slightly, but still have some fun with a semi-automatic carbine pistol that is kind of like a short-range DMR. I'm having a lot of fun with it at the moment, and right now it's becoming my default assault weapon. But there you are, the M1917 Trench Carbine from the Battlefield 1 Turning Tides DLC. Thank you very much for watching today, and a big thank you to Discord for sponsoring this video. Don't forget, if you want to join my server or make your own, click the link down in the description and you can get yourself started. Let me know what you think of the Trench Carbine down below in the comments section. Is this a weapon that you're enjoying using, or is it one that you're going to pass on in favour of something else? But until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.